Hello everyone. Welcome to another video series from CanF Video Trainings. This is a new video series for Citrix XenApp 6.5. It is part 1 of the video. In this video I'm going to go through building Citrix infrastructure. I'm going to show you what is my infrastructure, and this infrastructure is excellent for a small home lab environment. In this video series I'm going to install, configure, manage Citrix XenApp 6.5. So in this part 1 of the video I'm going to show you my infrastructure and will show you how to build a Citrix infrastructure. And then I'm going to go to installation of Citrix XenApp 6 server on I have two servers, CanF CTX1, CTX2, and then installation of licensing server, and at the end we're going to verify the Citrix install. Now our architecture is very simple. In my architecture I have three servers. One is called CanF DC01. IP address is 192.168.100.10, whereas I have and that is a domain controller, and my Citrix XenApp server is also sitting on this. In my network, this server is server 2012. It can be 2008 as well, whereas my both of the other servers, which are going to be XenApp servers, these are both server 2008. One server is kind of CTX1, the other server is CTX2. IP address is 100.110, 100.120, and then first server will be having XenApp server and web interface, whereas the second server is just a XenApp server. Later on we're going to add one more server for load balancing purposes, some other labs. Among these I have a client machine which is called CanF CL01 for testing out our Citrix receiver. Here it is just shown that I'm gonna get the licenses from the website called www.mycitrix.com. We are going to register an account, download the evaluation license, install the license on our domain controller server, because we're going to have the Citrix license server on this, and later on we're going to connect these both XenApp servers to the license server. So let's get started. Now in my infrastructure I have first server, which is a DC. It's server 2012. If I can show you my configuration on this is just a server 2012. Name of the server is CanF's DC01. The domain name is canfs.local. Firewalls, I'm gonna switch off all firewalls in this environment. In real environment you would just add ports. For Citrix. Now in this case, so firewall is off. Yes, it is off. I just need to refresh it. Soon as you refresh, shows you it is off. Secondly, my IP address is 100.10 on this. So this is just a simple domain controller. Doesn't have anything in relation to Citrix. So server number 1. Server number 2 is 2008 server, and this server is joined to the CanF's domain. So all you need to do is to make these three servers. No Citrix components are there. So I'm gonna log into the third server and we'll show you the configuration. Make sure on all servers you're logged into a domain. It's very important while installing Citrix. Otherwise it will give you later on security or permission issues. So make sure when you're logging into all of these Citrix servers, you should be logged into a domain. These are evaluation version. So what I'm doing now is I'm just extending the evaluation license on 2008. So it is success. So this is the command to extend the evaluation version license. Now, so this is server 1, which is, you can see the name is CTX1. It is part of CNAP's domain. IP address is 110, just like in the diagram. Second server is also CTX, part of the domain, and IP address is 120. This is my client machine, and the client machine is also, so these three machines are joined to Active Directory. So before you start building a Citrix lab, make sure this infrastructure is ready, number one. Number two, once the infrastructure is ready, I'm gonna take a snapshot here. I'm gonna call it snapshot 2. I'm gonna take a snapshot of all of them. Now the reason is that in case anything goes wrong during Citrix installation, I should be able to revert back to my base snapshot in case of any corruption during installation or any errors. Okay, so snapshot is being taken, as you can see, saving snapshot. So once this is all complete, then we're going to start the installation. Now the very first thing is that I'm going to run the setup here. I'm going to install the license server on this one, on domain controller. So for that, let's start the license server installation. So all I need to do, first of all, go to the VM settings, go to VM settings. From here, go to load CD. Actually, before loading the CD, we need to load a server 2012 CD on this server and add a prerequisite. So the prerequisite is I need to add a .NET 3.5 on the server. So let me first add this before running any Citrix. So make sure you run this. For this you need to have CD 2012 CD loaded on the server. So let's load this and complete the installation. And we're going to do the same thing on other servers as well. Just load the CD. Change image. In this case I'm gonna need a 2008 CD, and 2008 CD, I've got it here. Make sure it is connected, and here as well. So now here it is connected. On this one 3.5 is going on. On this we're gonna add, so I'm gonna open server manager, or I can just go here, add features, and add 3.5. It will add the IAS role along with this. So for now let's just add this, and next, and finish. Same thing for this other, add feature, .NET 3.5. So it's going on this one, and all three of them. So this is the first requirement. If you don't do this and just start running Citrix installation, it will stop and ask you to do this, but at that time you need to take out the Citrix CD and add server 2012 CD. So instead of doing that, before Citrix, I installed 3.5, .NET 3.5 framework on all three of them. So it is installed in 2008, done. Here it is being installed. Okay, so it came out to be it errored out on 2012. On 2008 was installed. 2000 both 2008 were installed. Now here the error is because it couldn't find the source files for 2000 .NET Framework 3.5. All I need to do is, first of all, you already make sure that you have a 2012 CD here. So it is here loaded. Secondly, run the setup again and then go to next, select .NET, and before clicking install, just make sure you go here, alternate location, open your CD. So leave the screen here, and then go to CD. Here, go to sources, go to SXS, copy this path. So just double click, copy the path, go back to this location, and here put this here. So actually this is used for the source files for 3.5. Now let's see, it's gonna be a quick install. So on these two it's fine. So while this is being installed, let's start installing Citrix on first one. So all we need to do is go into settings and then go to CD, browse, connect to your Citrix CD. So we are using Citrix XenApp 6.5. Load that CD on both of your servers. So I'm doing it both at the same time. You can do it on one by one, but if you can understand how this is working, you can do it all at one time. For installation later on, we're going to configure them one by one. I just loaded the Citrix CD on both of them, and auto run starts once the CD is loaded. If this auto run doesn't come, then you can go to Explorer, Windows Explorer, which can be, you can right click here and say open Windows, and you can go here. This is the same CD as you can see, or you can do right click and you can say run auto play. So this can be done, or you can directly go here. If this is not started and that auto run is not working, there is another way too. That other way is right click on CD, just disconnect and reconnect. So disconnect and reconnect. That also, it reinitiates the auto run, and it will come in few moments. So while this is being loaded, so on first one, .NET Framework is installed. So close this, and here all I need to do it now, load the Citrix CD. So here let's load the Citrix CD on this. Loading. So here, because we just did that, this is the first Citrix server. Let's run the auto run. So this is now the role manager. Actually, this is the installation components. All we need to do install XenApp server. How do I know I need to install XenApp server? Because here in the diagram, this server will have XenApp and web interface, and the first server will only have Citrix license, and this third server will only have XenApp. So this is how our architecture is. So since this is my first server, let's install XenApp server on this. And on my second server, again, auto run is initiated from the CD, and I clicked on this, and then same thing, let's install XenApp server. So on this, both our files are being loaded. On this, we also need to run initiate the auto run. If it is not running, we can go to Explorer. We can go here, right click and say auto run. Otherwise we can go one by one in these as well. So on first server I just need to install licensing. Basically you can go to this folder and run licensing. It's the same thing, but let's wait for that auto run to open and run it from, yes, so auto run is here. All we need to do, we can, so in this server we're not installing XenApp server, we just need licensing server. For that you can go to manually install component, common component, and here you have Citrix license. So Citrix licensing is being installed. On the first server it is still trying to load the role manager, and here it is loading the Citrix license server installation wizard. So here on first one, here it is loading. Now let's do one by one all of them. So here this is Citrix. So I'm just on the same server, first server, installing Citrix license. Click I accept, next, next. So it's going on. It's not gonna take huge big long time, provided you have SSD in your environment. So when I created these servers, this is server 2012, this one 2008, this is also 2008, this is Windows 7 client machine. So, and on first server I'm installing Citrix license server. So I'm just going slow because I was doing all of these, although we can do all of these all together, but just to make it more simpler I'm just doing one by one. So Citrix license server is installation is going on. Well, let me see the other server. So role manager has started, and role manager started on both of them. While we are waiting for licensing server to complete, we can go on to the first server and run the add server roles. So add server roles on this, and also we'll run add server roles on the second server. Citrix is a bit heavy application, so although I do have SSD and 24 gigs of RAM in this machine, it is still takes time for Citrix files to be loaded, installed. So on this one first server I just clicked on add server role. It's now running the wizard on both of them, and here license server installation is finished. Now one thing you must remember, and that is that once this is finished, don't think it is completely finished. Right after this it should ask us to enter a password for the admin console. So right after this you will click finish, wait here, don't do anything, and in few moments another screen will pop up to do some basic configuration of license server. So we'll wait for that screen. On this one it is role manager is running the add role wizard. Now many people do a mistake. They think that once this wizard is finished, license server is installed. No, this is not the case. Right after this, once this is finished, it will run another very small wizard in which it will ask us for to set up the admin password for the licensing console. Okay, so yes, so on the same licensing server, when we finish this is the wizard that pops up. So wait for this wizard to pop up. And here you don't have to do anything. These are the ports that license server uses. All you need to do is set up the admin password, and we use standard password for all of them, which is capital password 1. Press OK. Now once this is done, it means license server is installed. The next step will be need to verify if the license server is installed properly. In 2008, we would have went to Start menu, and then we would have went to Citrix, and there we can find license server. In 2012, it's a bit different. So once this is done, then I'm going to show you how to connect to the licensing server console. It's just taking some time. And on first server, so while this is taking some time, we'll leave it as is. We can jump to our first server, and here while we ran the add role wizard, now it is asking me what type of license do you have: platinum license, enterprise license, or advanced license. Now we're gonna go with platinum license. Platinum license has all features in this license, whereas few features are not available in enterprise, then even lesser features are available in advanced edition. Okay, so before I start with this, let's go back to license server. Seems like it is done, it is saved. Now to open the license server console, for that you need to go to start, and here just type license. Soon as you say li, this automatically pops up, and this is actually the licensing console. Now you are in licensing console. In order to log into this, all you need to do, change to administration. It will ask you the password. So remember, we just set up the password for admin, and that was this. Now I'm logged into the licensing console. Now once I have the license file, and I'm going to show you where to get the license file, we're going to come here, and here we're going to import the license file. So I'm going to leave it here, and I'm going to jump onto the first server and install the Platinum Edition. Now on this server, remember, we need to install XenApp server and web interface. So here all I need to do, Platinum version, accept the agreement, and here select XenApp server and web interface. License server we're not installing because this is available on this server. So next, and here you don't need to select anything for now. We'll just leave everything as is, and next. So now 6.5, the good thing is that it does install many components by itself, while Citrix installation, it will reboot about 2 times within this installation. So here I just clicked install, and it will take time to do the first phase, and then it will reboot. After reboot, it will do a second phase and will complete the installation. So I'm going to leave it here, and I'm going to jump on to Citrix 2. Again, we're going to click Platinum Edition. I accept. Next. Here we're just installing web app, we're not installing web interface. So next and done. So I've clicked installed on this one, I clicked installed on this one, and so here it already stopped. Here it installed RDS services, desktop experience role, and then now it needs to reboot. So I'll just click finish and wait what happens. Here it is also doing the same thing. Let's see. If you go here, yes, so keep an eye on this management role. Once you're finished with any phase, here it gives you important message. So here it's saying we need to reboot the server. And then here on the second server, it's just doing the install, and it will exactly do the same thing what we just saw here. So we just click reboot, it will reboot, and here it's also done and it needs the reboot. You just click finish, wait for that reboot screen to appear so that we can click reboot from inside. For server 1 it is being rebooted as you can see, and server 2 it came to the screen reboot. So you would reboot this, now it is rebooting this. Now once both comes back, they will start automatically with Citrix setup and continue install. So now this is being started. So it's just running the updates. Now while it is running the updates, so it is shutting down, it's running the update, it might restart a few times. Let me show you how to get and where to get the license. So first of all, we need to get an evaluation license from the Citrix website, and that website is known as mycitrix.com, www.mycitrix.com. So let me go on to this website, and so this is the website actually. The website is known as mycitrix.com. And I already have an account on this. Now once you go to this website, so let me go here, let me show you the website here. So it is called mycitrix. mycitrix.com, and it connects us to this website. If you don't have an account, you can create an account. Let me show you how this is done. You can go to new tab, and as soon as you go to new tab right here, it will ask you what type of account do you want to create. You need to create a custom account, customer account, and once you're there, it will ask you a few questions. Once you're all done, it will send you an email. Right after that, it will ask you username and password, and then once this is done, it will send you an email to that account, and then you can log in from the screen. But then you can just click login, and once you logged in, once you logged in, you need to go to previews and betas here, and from here you need to go on to XenApp evaluation version, which is this one, and then from here you would click on this, and you would just follow the prompt, and then it will provide you a license file. Now license file, I've already downloaded that license file on my Citrix because I was connecting from the host machine. You need to download that file. I already downloaded and copied the file on desktop of this machine. Let's see. Oh, I don't have it. I think I have it on my host. Let's see. So it's in my host machine, and this is the licensing. You would find a file called LIC. So you just select the file, copy it on your DC's desktop, and from here all you need to do while you're inside here, you need to go to administration, you need to go to this vendor daemon configuration, then import file, browse, go to desktop and select the licensing file and import. While this is imported, in few moments you would see that it will pop. It would be actually, it's here, Citrix running, and this is the file. So So let's go back to system. So the file is loaded, and now on this first server, let's go here, canapes. As I said earlier, always make sure that you log into the domain. So if previous setup was completed properly, it should automatically ask us to resume the Citrix installation. So both servers are logging in. Just wait for a few moments to set up. The role manager, Citrix role manager, should automatically start. Even on this one, it should automatically start. Now while they are loading, I'm gonna give them few moments. Otherwise, if not, then I can load the Citrix CD and run the role manager. So here, going back on the license server, so the license we need to download, as soon as you click on this, it will ask you to download a new license. Now one very important thing is once you click on this, it won't let me download because I've already downloaded the license. In your case, what it would do is it would ask you to download the license. Now let's see here. So I'm gonna say Citrix license download. Citrix license download. Let's change it to images. What I want to show you is this. So it goes here. You click here first, then actually this is a complete installation, not a license download. So it's right here. So on this screen, yes. So first you need to select the down license. It would take you to this screen and it would ask you, so you need to go here, and then after this it will ask you to name the host of the licensing server. When you continue on this, let's see, when you continue on this, it will ask you for the licensing server name. Licensing server name is case sensitive, so make sure whatever is your host name, that host name should be added into the license. I've already got a license, so once you got the license file, you download it, bring it to this machine, and then import. Click import, and the license will be updated. Now on this server, as you can see, on Citrix server, we haven't started the role manager. It automatically started, and we can just resume the setup. So you need to give it a few moments before you can run the role manager by yourself by running the CD, so it automatically pops up. So I already clicked resume setup, and again one more time it will go through the remaining components that needs to be installed. Once all is installed, it will reboot one more time, and then in the next screen it will ask us to set up the license. Now I'm gonna stop here the recording, and once a prompt comes or it stops anywhere, I'm gonna start the recording. So the role manager is still trying to install the Citrix XenApp server. It has rebooted the first time. Now this is the second time. It is rebooted. After rebooting, it automatically asks us to resume the setup. I resumed it, and now the screen appears. All I need to click install. Now it will install all other required components for XenApp 6.5. And here also on our third server, just click install. And so this one is not a web interface, whereas this one is a web interface and a XenApp server. Now the major difference is since this will be our first server, this will be our ZDC as well. So the server, I'm gonna write it here. This is our ZDC, and then it will be having LH, localhost cache as well. And this one is not a ZDC, but it will be having LHC at the end. LHC is localhost cache, which is actually a subset of our data store server. So here it's installing. It needs to install step 8 of 11, whereas on this it is also being installed 8 of 8. This installation will be over in few minutes. This one is going on, so let's pause. So it's been few minutes already. It is still being installed on both of them. Our license server is ready. Once they are installed, we need to configure, so it goes back to the role manager, and here it's going to change the status to configure license server. Once you configure the license server, then it's going to add configure XenApp farm, configure the XenApp. So for now, we'll let it install, being installed on both of them. So installation is still going on. I think it just completed the install of XenApp server, as it shows XenApp server installed successfully. Now it is installing the XenApp management console. After that, it's gonna do a desktop experience. Let's see the other server. Here also XenApp server installation is finished. It is now installing XenApp's management console. So I'm gonna pause again, and I'm gonna start again once it stops at any screen. Okay, finally it is finished. And once let's look at this. So everything is installed, and all I need to do is click finish. Now as soon as you click finish, it stops at this screen. Let's see the other one. This one is finished too, and it will stop as licensing screen. So all we need to do is to click specify licensing. Now in this wizard, it's gonna ask us to connect to this server where the license is. So whatever license server you have, so on this screen, once it starts, in this we need to point to this server, and if licenses are valid, it should be able to install. Now one thing very important, that right after XenApp installation, we need to create a farm, Citrix farms, and then run the discovery. But that option doesn't come until the licensing is not configured. So make sure that you configure properly the licensing. After that, you will notice that once this is finished, right under this there will be another option for configuring the XenApp environment. So here I clicked it. Now XenApp is kind of a heavy application. It takes some time. We'll just give it some time. So it did popped up. So this is the licensing screen. Let me just click it here as well. So while I'm doing this, it will take time and pop up this screen on the other server. So this saying, what is your licensing server? Our licensing server is this one. So I'm gonna write the name of this machine's DC1. Actually it's DC01. Test your connection. Your connection is fine. At this point, if you get any error, make sure your firewalls are off. They are pingable. They are all accessible to each other. So here this is fine. And then click next. You will see this error message sometime. But on this error message, all you need to do is click continue. And next, it's saying what type of licenses do you have? You have XenApp license. Just go next on this, continue, and apply. And same thing, we're gonna do it here. Once this specify licensing comes up, we're gonna do the same thing on this one. As you can notice, as I just said, that once this is all done, applied, you will see under this triangle there will be another new option. We'll keep an eye on this. So here it stopped for licensing. Let's provide the name 01, test connection, done. Just click next, continue, and next, continue. So it's the same thing. It is taking time, so as I said, as soon as it was finished and done, now we'll be able to configure the XenApp server. You click on configure on this, and also here, actually this came back again because I clicked it twice. So basically this was the screen where we need to so on the second one it is configured as well. And so once this is configured, licensing is configured, now we'll need to configure XenApp. So I'll start this, but one thing, this cannot be configured unless this is finished. So here, now this wizard is specially to configure the farm, and it will ask us few questions. So I'm gonna configure the farm from this server. And then this will automatically become a ZDC. Once this farm is created on this one, then I'm gonna run the same wizard on this, and we're gonna add this to the same farm that exists here. So let's wait. So I clicked this, then this wizard pops up. In this, I'm gonna create a new farm on this. So let's create a new farm. Let's name it Canaps farm, and next just select new database in this case, and next provide our domain credentials, so Active Directory Administrator, our standard password, and then click next. Here we just need to allow this. Even if you prohibit it, so here we'll just leave it as is for now, and we'll go with the defaults on this one as well, and apply. So now it is configuring the farm for the first time. Not only configuring the farm, it is also creating a data store database using SQL Express Edition. And then it will create a Citrix data store, initialize the data store. It will start the IMA, which is Independent Management Architecture Service, which is the main service that works between server to server. It will then register the Citrix administrator's account, and then configure commands remote service. So once this is all done, then we can do the same thing on this. Now on this, we're not going to create a new farm. We are going to add to the existing one. But this existing one, since it doesn't exist, we'll have to wait for once this is all done. So it normally takes about 5 to 10 minutes. So let's pause the video and let it finish. Okay, so the server configuration still going on. So it's starting, although it's able to create the data store, and it is now doing the IMA service. So as we discussed before, what it's gonna do is it's gonna configure this first, and it will reboot. Once it will reboot, we can then start with the App Center. And App Center is the main console from where we configure Citrix. I will run the discovery, discover this server, add this server to the farm. What is farm? Farm is a logical Citrix boundary in which all XenApp servers exist as like a group, and one farm has one data store. If you need to have a separate data store for any reason, if you need to have a separate farm for any reason, that farm will be having its own data store. Okay, so this is done. We'll click finish. Once this is finished, the status is changed and server needs to reboot. As you can see, this is kind of one after another, so keep an eye on this role manager. We'll reboot this. While this is rebooting, we need to go on to 2 and say existing farm. Now let's wait until this comes back, and then we can go with this second server configuration. It is starting up. Okay, so the server started up, but it's saying this error message is license required by the addition of Citrix XenApp are not present on this license. For now, we'll just ignore this message. Just click OK, log in, and we're gonna use always use administrator Active Directory administrator account. So it is logging in. Now we're gonna verify our installation. So how do you verify your installation? So first of all you need to do is, so it will ask you for Citrix Receiver. Here we're gonna say just I will enter the URL later, and then in order to verify Citrix installation, go to Start, go to All Programs, go to Citrix. Here you don't see anything, but if you go to Administrative Tools, you can see complete Citrix, all Citrix components, and our main stop will be at Citrix Console and the App Center. So the main management console is Citrix App Center. So this is the first time we're starting. Here we'll just say disable authenticate signature when we don't need it at the moment. And this is the first time App Center is installing. It will run the discovery wizard. So you can go next. We're not using single sign-on at the moment. Just keep selected XenApp, next. And here add the local server because itself is a Citrix. Everything is fine. It will be, discovery will be completed, and now your farm is ready. As you can see, my farm is ready. This is my farm, and this is the server. Now let me add the second server to the farm. So for this, I'm not gonna say new farm, existing farm. Once this is done, it is loading. We are going to connect to existing SQL database, which is on the other server, not local. So if it doesn't populate, then we can use the name of the server because we're gonna use the same database as on this one. Next, it will ask us for username and password. This is always administrator. And here it wants us to test the connection to this database. So just say test connection. It is successful. And next, same question it is asking, do we need shadowing? We'll just leave it default. Here we're gonna also leave default and apply. Now this will be a bit quicker than the other one, because in this is not a web server, a web interface server, it's just a XenApp server. So let me pause the video here. Once it stops, then I'm gonna start recording again. Okay, so this one was quick. The other one took time. And actually, since this did not have to create any data store, so it is just added to the existing data store on CTX1 finish. And once this is done, it is configured. Now all we need to do, we need to add this server to the farm. We can do it in both ways. We can open App Center here and go here and go to this management console, App Center. Or you can do it from here as well. I can say right here. No, I can run discovery again and then add that other server, or it is running the discovery here as well. So let's say add the local server. Next. Well, there is something wrong, because if it would have been, if it can be discovered, it will be discovered. It's taking time. It definitely is gonna error out, so I'm gonna leave it as is, and let's check some basics. So here we do have, oh, all firewalls are on. So let's turn off these firewalls. And let's check the firewalls on this server. Oh, and these firewalls are on as well. So firewalls are off. Let's try again. Cancel. Let's say run discovery. Disable this. Add server. At the same time, let me check one more thing. So it's kind of not discovering. Go into the first one. So this is my Citrix XenApp environment. I'm gonna go into more detail later on for exploring. But if this opens, and it opens like this, it shows you the farm name and the servers. It means it is installed properly. Now here, this is the account. This is the full administrator account, which is actually I'm logged into here. Now what if this is not running? Let's check a few more things here. Let's go to services, and in services we need to see that if IMA service is running. So IMA service is basically it is here. So this is IMA architecture. It's not running. There is one more server that is trying to run, which is this one. I think that's the problem. Oh, yes. The important thing was that it needed a reboot, because we just configured it. So let's just reboot it once and then try again. Although it never asked for reboot, but based on our previous experience, it must be rebooted. So let's reboot and then try again. It's just restarting. So it is ready to log in. Gives us this error message. Let's ignore this for now. Always make sure this is not the case, so just add, because if you log in locally, it will never be able to discover, it will never be, you won't be able to add it to the form. So now we're logged in with administrator account, and hopefully this time we'll be able to add it to the form. Let's look. Open App Center and then run the discovery, disable single sign-on, and add the computer. Done. So the only thing was discovery, the reboot was required, and done. Now we can see farm is ready, and in this farm I have two servers, Citrix 1, Citrix 2. So guys, with this we have successfully installed the two Citrix servers in a XenApp farm, and we have a licensing server installed on this. So everything should be working properly, and in the next video I'm gonna show you how to work with this console, meaning we're gonna go into more details about exploring the Citrix App Center, and later on we're gonna go through all these options within other videos. Thank you for watching this video.